Hello, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I do like to cook, and one of my favorite things to eat ever since I was a small child growing up has been lasagna because, well, I'm half Italian, and that's what I grew up with eating. So I recently found a way to make lasagna that takes a little less time than the traditional method where you have to layer everything together and pop together. So we're going to start. The magic comes in, instead of using lasagna noodles, in using farfalle or bow ties, because they're kind of the same shape as lasagna, and when you bake them together, it comes out very similar. So let's get cracking and start by boiling a whole bunch of water for this box. Alright, as you can see, we've got that about half full there. I'm going to crank that temperature up. Dump a bunch of salt in here. It's not necessarily to flavor the pasta, but I put salt in first of all because it helps the pasta hold together a little bit better. But on top of that, it also actually raises the boiling point of the water. So when you're boiling your pasta, it cooks a little better as well. So that's my little tip there. Some people don't like putting salt in their water because it adds sodium. I don't have a problem with a little extra sodium yet, although that might change someday. But we're going to put that on high and get that cooking up as fast as we can. And then we're going to put the entire contents of this 12-ounce box of bow tie pasta into this pot here. And let's see, cooking time on this says cook it for 13 to 16 minutes. My trick is always 1 minute longer than what the highest time is on any particular pasta type. So yeah, we'll get that going and get that boiling and kind of show you what the next step is. Alright, it's been a few minutes and the water's starting to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. It's probably more water than we need there, but I think that'll cook up pretty nicely. And in the meantime, because of the way this lasagna is made, we can go ahead and start making the rest of the ingredients. We're putting the rest of the ingredients in there. I'm actually going to wash that a little bit. Anyway, the first thing you want to do is get the largest baking plate you have that has a lid. So traditionally, my family makes lasagna. We use a giant metal turkey roasting pan. But we're not going to make one quite that big this time, so we're just using this Pyrex dish. But the important thing is it's got to have a lid, because you don't want the cheese on the top to burn. You only want it to crisp a little bit. Setting my oven to 300 degrees, and we'll start to get the rest of the ingredients ready. Okay, so I'm probably going to offend some other Italians or Italian Americans here, but remember again, the whole point of this is to be quick and cheap and easy to make. And while I could go around making my own sauce, making my own meatballs, and doing everything the right way, we're going to use cheap ingredients and a bunch of pre-made stuff. But I think overall, if you add up the cost of everything, like this was $1, this was like $3, so that's $4, $1 for sauce, so $5, and then another $4 or $5 for this. So this whole lasagna, with some leftover ingredients, can be mostly meatballs, can be had for around $10, and it should feed most of a family. So I'm going to go ahead and cut open this bag of meatballs. So these are just, all the Italian style meatballs. We are at least trying to use Italian style meatballs here. And I'm going to pour a bunch of them into maybe about half the bag into a microwave safe bowl here, and then pop that in the microwave once we put it under the cover. Okay, so the meatballs have gone in for 3.5 minutes, Pasta's got about 7 minutes left on it. Oven's up to temperature, and I am going to start. This is going to seem weird for making lasagna. I'm just going to start dumping the rest of the ingredients in the pan here. This will make more sense as we get into the final part. So there's about half one of these 24-ounce containers that was left. I'm going to scrape the rest of that out. This is a 4 cups mozzarella bag. I'm going to put about half of it in now. And we'll have a little more for the top. This is a 15-ounce container of part skim ricotta, although you can use whole milk ricotta cheese if you want. And you have to get this special tool to get this open properly. You might know this special tool by another name, that is fork. I call it a ricotta cheese container opener. So, made a little dotted line there, and just rip the plastic up. We're going to need that fork anyway in a little bit. Pull the top off here. And then just take the whole container and scrape out the contents. All the ricotta cheese. All goes in the pan. And again, you kind of got to know what the balance is for however much you're making. I think this is all going to fit in this container, in this dish. If not, I might have to get a second dish. But that's one of the beautiful things about this express lasagna, is that you can do that. You don't have to like guess how much you need, and if you got too much left over, you have like extra noodles you can't do anything with, or you know, an extra half cup of ricotta cheese or whatever. You just got to know what the ratio is. Have enough ingredients, and then if you need more plates to bake it in, you just grab more and throw it together. So I'm going to take these meatballs that are now hot and dump them in with the cheese and the tomato sauce, and we're already starting to fill this thing up, but it's not quite full yet, which is good because we're going to need the space for the pasta. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I got the container here now, and we're going to mix up all the ingredients. So we got tomato sauce and meatballs and mozzarella cheese shredded and ricotta cheese, and again, we might need a little more tomato sauce. I will douse or dump the rest of it, the bottle, in there in a little bit. But this looks about the right ratio to me, and it'll be a little clearer if we got the right ratio or not once the pasta's in here. But yeah, there we go. All right. Well, the timer just went off. I've turned the heat off the pasta, and we moved over here by the sink because it's just going to be a lot neater for us. So let's go ahead and grab those bow ties, just like you would any other normal pasta. Pour them into a colander. Can't see anything. There we go. Gotta love the steam. Alright, so we kind of drain those out a little bit. Those are fully cooked, the way I like them anyway. You don't have to cook them quite as long as I do, but that's how long I like to cook them. And then we just go ahead and pour that into our dish. And I'm probably going to have to do it in several stages so that we don't go overflowing here. That's good. But as you can see, this will pretty much fill it up right to the top when we're done. And we'll just mix it in here. Actually, that might need more sauce. It's very cheesy. Well, that's okay. I got a whole other bottle. And obviously you can, use whatever proportion that you want based on your tastes. Some people like more cheese, some people like more sauce. A large part of my family doesn't like a lot of cheese or sauce. They like more noodles. So that's fine too. Gotta do what works for your family. This is just a basic technique here. You can tweak the recipe for your own purposes. Alright. Alright, that's pretty well mixed in. That's another thing too, you could bake it, and then when you're done and you're eating it, you can just put more sauce on your portion. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because to get this any other way, it would be quite tricky at this point, because this is a very full pot. That's pretty tasty, y'all. Alright. So, for the final touch, we need to take the rest of the mozzarella cheese. I don't know if we're going to use all the rest of it, but we're going to use as much as it takes to cover the top of this lasagna and a full layer of cheese. And particularly for this express lasagna, this is important because it provides basically the one solid layer you get that is defined and sits on the top. It's also important because this is the part that eventually you will toast and turns a nice golden color. It just helps everything kind of stick together. So I didn't quite use the whole container or the whole bag. I used most of it though. There's maybe half a cup left in there. So that being the case, that's kind of warm, but that's where it's going. And so, without much hesitation, and taking only a little bit more time than it would have taken to lid. Only a little bit more time than it took to actually make the pasta itself. We are ready to throw this dish into the oven. I try not to burn my hands. And we'll leave that in there probably for about 30 minutes, and then take the top off and cook it for another 15 minutes without the lid in order to get the cheesy layer all golden and kind of like the top of a pizza. So yeah, and if we make any adjustments, obviously we'll let you know that. And that is time. And we have taken the cover off of that. It's been in there for 15 minutes. Probably needs another 5 to 10 minutes in there. That's not quite golden yet. So we'll just pop that in for a little longer and pull that out when it's done. Yeah. Alright, round 2. Yeah, better. Alright, so turn that off. I need to find something I can use as a pot holder. I ain't touching this with one hand. And we have our lasagna. Express. So that still needs to cool down for a few minutes. Maybe like 10 minutes, just like any normal lasagna would. But yeah, that's the final product, and we'll show you what that looks like as we cut it open. How about it? Alright, so this has been sitting here for about 10 minutes because I didn't put the timer on, even though I set the timer. So now it's cooled down a bit. So we're going to cut ourselves a generous portion. It's lunchtime, but it's past lunchtime. And I'm going to serve some to Lincoln too, because he really loves pasta and lasagna and whatnot. So cut that part out. Yeah, he's hungry. And get a decently sturdy spatula, and voila, lasagna. It definitely needs more sauce. But for now, you'll see how the layers have pretty much formed up, even though we didn't actually make any layers. And how, yeah, for all intents and purposes, that's a normal lasagna. So, hopefully you've enjoyed that recipe, or hopefully you get the chance to enjoy that recipe, that technique for making what I call express lasagna. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy it now, and I think Lincoln is too. And yeah, like and leave comments below if you try it out, or if you've got any variations or suggestions or whatever. Anything that we can all learn from each other in this be greatly appreciated. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see more of these. I do love to cook. There's a lot of different recipes that I've made and developed over time, and I'd love to share them all with you. So yep, talk to you again soon, and enjoy your meal. So the final verdict, my opinion, is lasagna is pretty amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Lincoln, what do you think of lasagna? Is it good? Kids love it.